Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm making a conscious effort in 2017 to make more videos for you, and I've decided that I'm going to do quite fun, simple projects that you can do really easily in an afternoon or an evening. And today I wanted to share with you these Valentine's Day stuffed hearts. I just thought I'd do a simple, quick tutorial on how to make stuffed hearts and the best way to make them and how to hand stitch them at the end. Because I do sell some personalised versions through my shop, and a lot of people ask me how I actually make them, so I thought this might be quite a fun way so that you can all have a go. This fabric I've actually printed myself for Valentine's Day, and I'm going to do a blog post on how you can do that yourself. It's really easy again. But today I'm just going to show you how to make the hearts, but if you want to make the fabric as well, you need to go to my blog. I will put a link in the description below. So yeah, I hope you really enjoy this video and give all these cute hearts to your family and friends. Okay, so tools you're going to need are some card, some paper, scissors and a pencil to cut your heart template out of, some pins, a needle and thread, some scrap ribbon, fabric scissors, your chosen fabric that you actually want your heart made out of, some iron-on interfacing. I'm using this medium weight Valentine. You only hold on for 8 seconds, it's really easy to use, so I'd recommend this one. And you'll need some polyfiber stuffing to stuff your heart with. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is cut out your heart template. So I'd recommend drawing a rough heart shape, loosely cutting that out and then folding it in half and then cutting it out neatly, just so you get a symmetrical heart that you can use again and again and again. I've already got my template done, so all you need to do is get your heart template and draw around it twice on your interfacing like this. Doesn't matter which side you draw it on, just make sure it's really clear and easy to see. And once you've done that, all you do is iron it onto the back of your fabric. Okay, so I've ironed on my hearts onto my fabric. I did cut them out individually. This is just a tip for you. If you've got a fabric with a one direction pattern, you might want to be clever about which bits of the design you pick up in your hearts. So I cut mine out individually and then placed them where I wanted more of the design to be. So you might want to just move them around and make sure that you've got the design how you want it. So now all we need to do is cut these out. Okay, so once you've got both hearts cut out, all you need to do is place them right sides together, like this. And then we need to place our ribbon in this bit. So you're going to put this inside this way up and pin it in place. Okay, so it's all pinned together now, so everything nice is on the inside. And note how I've left the loop sticking out of this end. This is where I'm going to leave the gaps turned it the other way round. So I've marked it with 2 pins either side, and this is the loop end of the ribbon, and this is the cut end. So make sure you get the ribbon the right way round. So now all we're going to do is sew around the outside, leaving this gap here with a running stitch on our sewing machine. So let's go do that. Okay, so I'm going to line the edge of my foot up against the edge of the fabric here, and we're just going to go from that point, leaving our loop behind. It's about an inch gap, so just remember that when you come around the other side. So all we're going to do, I am using pink thread, I will add, just so you can see where I'm stitching. Do a reverse stitch to make sure all those stitches are sealed. Then you're just going to go all the way around, stopping at the corners and where you need to turn and putting your foot back down again. You'll need to stop when it gets to the centre bit of the ribbon, so just have a rough idea where that is. That's where you're going to turn from. So don't forget, when you come to this side, do your reverse stitch again, and then you can pull it out, trim it off, and it should look something like that, except your stitching will be matching and not so obvious. Okay, so the next step is quite important. Where you've got all these curves, we need to make sure that they're smooth when we turn it around the right way. So what you need to do is cut tiny triangles all the way around, like that. I should point out that I'm using some tiny snips for this part because I find them really, really useful. And then the last thing you have to do is where the ribbon is, you need to do a little cut down there towards that point so that it turns the right way, and then flip it over and do the same on the back. So you should be left with something like this. So now all we need to do is turn it the right way. Once you've turned it the right way round, all we're going to do is press this flat. So we'll just use the iron to make sure all these seams are really neat. You might want to still use a pencil or a crochet hook or something just to poke all these edges out and make sure they're nice and neat. So we're just going to press this and then we can stuff it. Okay, so now that it's ironed and pressed neatly, all we're going to do is grab our polyfibre stuffing, and you're just going to rip off little bits at a time, maybe not even that much, and then stuff it into the corners. Again, you might want to use the end of a pencil or a crochet hook to really poke it in. You want it quite full, don't be, stingy on the stuffing. Okay, so now we're going to sew up the open gap that we've left. So I'm going to teach you how to do a ladder stitch, which is sort of an invisible stitch that makes it look like it's continuing from where your machine did it. So I've just put a pin in here to close up the gaps to keep it nice and still. And I've threaded up my needle, and I have done it double thickness, so I folded it over twice so that it's nice and strong. Tie a knot in the end, and then, I'm sorry if this sounds really complicated, but I promise you after a while you will get it. The two sides of your fabric are the edges of the ladder going upwards, and then your thread is going to be the steps going horizontally across. So firstly, you want to get your knot inside. So I'm just going to poke it through the gap and then up, further up, so where your machine has sewn it. Careful not to get it caught. Tug it through. So now, from where the machine has done it already, you're just going to go a step across to the other side and go down. Pull it through. So now we're on this side. So now we need to step across to this side, and then do a stitch down and pull it through. And now we need to step across this side. Do a stitch down and pull it through. So when you're doing your stitches down, you're doing them on the same side that you went in. Step across, little stitch down, pull it through. So now we're on that side, so now we need to step across this way, little stitch in this side, pull it through, oh. Step across, stitch down. If you can get it in the crease of where you've pressed your heart, that would be amazing, because then it would be a smooth line continuing from your machine stitching. And I promise you, once you've done this a few times, you'll get the hang of it. So now that I'm near the end, I'm going to take this pin out and I can see how much gap I've got left. So I've got about ½ centimetre to do. And remember, go beyond the gap so that you're back on where your machine has sewn. And then once you've got there, you're just going to turn it around, smooth this out with your fingers. I know I've got a bit of thread poking up here, but that's from the knot, so I'm going to trim that off afterwards. And then you're going to go all the way back up to the same technique, just so that it's all nice and neat and strong. I should point out, if you've got any larger stitch gaps going up, those are the ones you now want to fill in going back the other way. Okay, so now I've sewn up the entire length of this side. What I would do with this leftover thread is poke it back in through the seam and then go really far up and see if you can get it through a really thick bit of fabric. Then put it through, put it a bit tighter than you'd like it, and then trim it off. And then once you've straightened this out, everything will disappear. And there you have it. A nice neat sewn gap. So I just need to trim off that bit of thread. And there we have it. A really, really cute, easy gift to give to your loved ones this Valentine's Day. Okay, so thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to see all the hearts that you've been making. Make sure you tag me on Instagram. I'm at jessie_handmade if you want me to see them. And if you do make the fabric as well, I'd love to see that as well. So give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if there's anything you'd like me to make this year and give a tutorial on, then just comment below and I will do my best to accommodate. So thank you very much. Happy handmade! Are you going back out? Mm.